Hello everybody, my name is Petr Koutny and welcome here. I have for you, I hope, nice chess game Vassily Ivanchuk Alonso Zapata, and we are in position which was played after 25 moves, and you can see that black is absolutely outplayed. His pieces are sitting back in the last rank doing nothing, and will be a really difficult job to find the worst piece, or maybe it will be difficult to find the best black piece, and for this reason white is winning. But I will show this game from the beginning and I will speak about every interesting moment of this game. So d4, knight to f6, and we are going for main variation of semish opening. Semish opening is one of the most flexible and solid system for white against the King's Indian system. Okay, that's something what we should know about this theory, and maybe now we are still in the opening book, but what will be interesting, it will be interesting now. In this position, black is active on the left side of the chessboard, but his pawn formation, it's maybe too risky. If you have three pawns on the light squares, you should be worried if your light squares will not be a bad piece and will be really difficult or maybe really important to prove that your light squares bishop is not a bad bishop and has a future for this game. But after knight to c1, this move is making sense because knight on e2 is making hard time for this bishop, so we are making space and we are giving air to our light squares bishop, plus maybe we are going to b3, and I believe that knight on b3 is good knight. Black is playing a really bad move, bishop to b7. Maybe stronger idea is to take first on d4, and now you can see that black is not worried to lose d6 pawn. This variation is really interesting, so I will show what's happened if white will take d6 pawn, but if white will take this pawn, he need to exchange his strong dark squares bishop. So he's going for this exchange, take pawn, but in this position it looks like black will have a really good compensation in activity. Yes, white has more material, but at least d6 pawn used to be a weakness, but you can see that in this position, and this game will be really often about bad pieces and not active pieces. You can see that white has a really bad army. It's very dangerous to play game, open game, with not active rook, bishop, knight. And I believe that after move f4, knight to g4 looks okay. Knight to f2 looks aggressive. Check on f5 is tempo. b4 is another attack to knight on c3, and after move f6, I believe that this is a super piece play for black. And this variation is not my variation, but it's game Alexei Shirov, Garry Kasparov from Dortmund 1992, and black used to be really happy here with a really good piece play. So that's one option how to play this position, and maybe Alonso Zapata found it more interesting move bishop to b7. I will tell you that this move is a mistake, and it's a mistake because this bishop on b7 will be misplaced bishop. You know, this bishop is doing nothing there, and maybe what's the worst, he is doing only problems for black. So how to play this position if we know that our opponent make a bad move? So it's really important to find a reason why this move is a mistake, and Vassily Ivanchuk, of course, is a really master in these types of position, and he took on e5. You can see that now we should see that black has some new weaknesses. At least bishop on b7 is misplaced the bishop, c5 square is a weak square, and d6 square is another weak square. So maybe if white is taking with knight, of course we are going to take d6 pawn and we have more material. Now we should ask black if black has any compensation, because only activity is the right compensation for missing material. But knight to d5 looks interesting, but after a few exchanging, I don't believe that black has enough for the pawn. I don't believe that black has compensation, and I really believe that this position is really good for white because it has more material. Black doesn't have attack, and if I have choose to play for black or for white, I will play for white. So I believe that white has advantage. For this reason, after exchange on e5, of course, black is taking with d pawn. You can see that, yes, in this position, black is not losing material, but d6 square is a weakness, c5 is a weakness, and b7 is a weakness. So the main problem for black is not material, but is bad pieces and weaknesses. So we know what to play. Or if we doesn't know what to play, we have to ask ourselves where we have the worst piece, and we have to improve our worst piece. So if you will be looking to white's army, and if you will ask what's our worst piece, I believe that we are okay to speak about this knight. This knight is on a bad square doing nothing, and it's the right time to improve this knight, and we are going to be free and looks okay. Maybe much more stronger variation is to find another weakness. So the first plan is speaking about the worst piece, another plan should speak about weakness. You can see that knight on d7 is not a really strong knight, and the best plan in this position is to play g4 and g5. And maybe if we are able to say this knight to go away, this knight on d7 will be a really big weakness. How this game should look, I will show in variation after g4. And because black doesn't want to lose a knight, he should play bishop to c8, but this move is really passive. Passive move, if your opponent is going back with his pieces, that means something is wrong with his position. g5, and now bishop to h3, and you can see like black is early under pressure, and white is attacking the biggest weakness, knight on d7. f5 is making sense, and maybe it's only one move in this position. After this take, white is really strong and has good shape from this position. Maybe you can see this variation is terrible bad for black, and I really believe that white has great advantage here and maybe is winning. White is stronger on the left side, in the middle, and on the right side. Everywhere where you will have a look, white is stronger. So more material, activity, good pieces, a great advantage. So I believe that in this position, the g4 move is much more stronger than knight to b3. But knight to b3 is making sense, and of course is not a bad move. Now you can see that black understand what's the biggest threat, and the biggest threat used to be move g4 and g5. How to play this position if black is going to c7. And of course, if Ivanchuk is really one of the most original chess player, he knows that it's a good idea to put your rook in the same file where is your opponent queen. So if opponent or black queen is on c7, we should go to c1. And maybe this simple looking move is not the best move in this position, but black need to be careful. For example, if black is not careful, black is losing pawn, because we have on the same file rook and queen. We should take on b5 and take one more time, and we should be winning because we have more material, we have activity, and our opponent has lots of weaknesses. So that's only information how this move rook to c1 should be dangerous for black if black is not careful. For this reason, black has to go to b8, but maybe you asking yourself what's wrong with black, because you can see that black is not active. I don't understand if black has any plan how black should be active or what black would like to play, because rook is not active. Another rook. This bishop is behind this pawn and is really not active piece. This bishop is bad bishop. This piece is doing nothing. Knight and knights. You know, if I'm looking to black's army, I see only weak soldiers. I don't see any general. I see only weak soldiers, and this is really bad situation for black. But of course, black is not losing, black is only worse, and now is a good time to watch how Ivanchuk will enjoy this position. So it's time to improve our position, it's time to improve our pieces, and Ivanchuk believe that this piece on d2 is not the right piece, it's not on the right squares, and I believe that maybe it's a good time to go to f2 and to be stronger on the dark squares. You can see that if we are going to f2 and we are going there, we are strong everywhere here, but we are strong everywhere here, and looks like okay, we are waiting for black's next move. Rook to e8, it's making sense because maybe this knight is going to f8 and maybe to e6. Yes, every time, even if you are in worst position, believe that the game is not end and you have to fight. You have to fight, and the best fight is to ask yourself where you have the worst piece and it's the right time to improve this piece. So if we are black, we should improve knight from d7 to e6. At least we did a good move. Okay, now Vassily played g3 and maybe he will go with bishop to h3. You can see that Vassily is doing the same. The best moves in our positions are usually if we are asking where we have the worst piece, and is this bishop, and if we will ask our bishop where this bishop will be strong bishop. So maybe this bishop will be strong on h3 or maybe on e2, but at least we played a good move and we are waiting for the next black's move. Believe me that if you are able to ask yourself where you have the worst piece, you will be improving chess player. Okay, now of course Vassily should go to h3, but maybe he would like to support c4 pawn and he changed mind and went to e2. Okay, this move is not a bad move. He believed that the bishop is good on e2 and nothing changed. Knight to e6, and you can see that black improved his position because knight from d7 went or jumped to e6, and on e6 is not a bad knight. So yes, we can see that Zapata is strong chess player because even in bad position he is fighting and he's trying to improve his pieces. Okay, we will do the same. Where we have the worst piece, and the worst piece is this rook, and I believe that this rook is going to open file, and we did a small step. We improve our worst piece, so we improve our position, and once again we are waiting for the next black move. And black is improving as well. Maybe this game is only about improving, but you know, something wrong happened to black soon and black will lose because he will have a bad pieces. He went to f8 and he believed that this bishop on g7 is bad bishop because of this pawn formation on e5, and it's going to f8. I believe it's making sense because this bishop on g7 has only one, two, three squares. If you are going to f8, so f8, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares. So if your piece has more squares, is stronger. So that means that we are right if we are speaking that black improve his bishop. A3, it's maybe a risky move because one day your left side should be under fire. Every time be careful if you are playing such dangerous move. And black went to d8, and white is okay to exchange the best black's piece. Every time if you are playing against bad army or not active black species, believe me that it's good idea to exchange black's best pieces. And we did one exchange and knight to e5. Knight to e5 is a really beautiful move, and now we should ask black what he will do. Black should take this knight, or black should go to e7. Still, you can see that it's interesting middle game where black is too far to be lost, but you know the game is really interesting and everybody need to play good moves. What's happen if black will take this knight? Of course, we are going to b6, and it looks like black's a5 queen is lost. But it's nothing too complicated to play bishop to c5. And if we are going to take on c5, best move is knight to d7, and looks like black exchange one or two pieces, and this exchange help him. I believe that still white is better, but black improve his position, and these two exchange help him a lot. Maybe bad idea is to take one more time on c5, because here you can see the different. White's queen on f2 is not really active, but on c5 is much more active than on f2. So every times when you are going to take something, ask yourself if you are not going to help your opponent, because you can see that it's not making sense to take this bishop and to improve white's queen. So if sorry, black will take, I believe that in this position white is better, because black did a wrong exchange. That's, I believe, interesting informations for you from this video. But we are going back for main game, and now maybe black was worried to take this knight and he went to e7. Still everything looks okay, and white went f4. Biggest mistake now is waiting for black, and black will play knight to d8, and I believe maybe this move is a losing move. Maybe it's a surprise, because black is not losing material, but still is losing after this move. The best move is b4. Believe me that if you don't know what to play, and if you are thinking about move knight to d8 and b4, and it's for you too difficult to understand which move is bad and which move is stronger, play the most active move. So b4 is the most active than knight to d8. For this reason I will play b4. And yes, this variation is working well for black, and after take, black will take. You can see that activity is okay for black. Take, rook to b8. We are going to attack, of course, if we are black, b2 pawn, and maybe white will be under fire in after move knight to d4, take, and knight to d7. Bishop is going to g7. Well done, this bishop is great bishop. Knight is going to c5, another great knight, and still black has big pressure to b2. And why black is so okay? It's because white has moved a3. As I told you before, a3 is sometimes too risky move or a very risky move, so be careful to play these moves in your position, because you never know when your opponent will use it and will be really active. But in this position, black went to d8 and it's nearly lost. Why? Because white is playing move f5. And you can see that knight from d8 is a dead knight. he has no more squares to play. So one dead knight on d8, another dead on b7. This piece is a really bad piece, so it's difficult to play for black with two bad pieces. What's more, this on f8 bishop is another bad bishop. This knight is not active, and it's really difficult to believe that this knight has any good squares. And rook on a8 is another not active piece. So if we will be asking who is in this position better, I believe that white is nearly winning and black has big difficulties because he has so bad pieces. And what's happened? You have one chance to play good chess and you should play b4 in this position and everything's okay. You are not taking your chance and you are playing knight to d8. Everything is wrong and you are losing. So it's a really interesting story about chess that we are so close for our victories or we are not too far from our losing. So f5, and you can see that knights, bishops, knight and rooks are very passive. And after knight to d7, of course, if black will take, I believe that bishop to g5 is very strong, and this position is really dangerous for black because black has bad pieces and too many weaknesses. For this reason, knight to d7, but c5 and another dead piece. So no more moves for this knight, no more moves for this knight, bad bishop, of course bad rook, bad bishop, bad queen. That's a signal that something went wrong for black. And if you know that Vassily Ivanchuk is one of the most original chess player, don't be surprised. Bishop to c8, and looks like, wow, where all black's army is going? g4. And we are there. We are there. Black's army is not playing this game, and it's really not possible to play this game against Grandmaster. What's more, it's not possible to play this game against Vassily Ivanchuk. And just now, watch this game, enjoy this position, and say well done to Vassily Ivanchuk because there is no reason why we should not believe that white is winning. Okay, first threat to open a file. Another plan, white should go to d1 and b3 and improve his bishop. I believe that this bishop on e2 is a bad bishop and should be improved. What's the funny? Funny is that we have time to improve our pieces, but black is so badly placed in this position. So many bad pieces are sitting on the last rank. So yes, that's amazing position. And I believe that we should be worried. And I believe that never ever we will play our chess games with so bad pieces. Bishop to d1 is going to bishop to b3. Okay, we are going to take. We are not losing time. Going to b3 attacking on f7. And now we are opening f file. And where white is winning? White is winning on d8. And winning moves are bishop to g5, rook to d1, and of course rook to d8. And after these two free moves, black is losing everything, and of course black was outplayed. Even this game was not so exciting. I believe that this game has really lots of nice chess plans, chess ideas, and I believe that Vassily Ivanchuk is not playing boring chess, and nearly from all his games we should learn something new. So we are at the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this game, you like this video, so you should feel free to press like, or maybe you should press follow in our YouTube chess channel and be our new follower. Thank you very much for watching this video. I believe I will see you next time in another interesting chess video, and I wish you a nice day. Thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye bye.